Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Davide Pannozzo. I'm a blues artist and also the founder of GUITARlab, Modern Blues Guitar Academy online. You can check the link in the description below. So today I start a new series of live classes open to everybody, totally free, dedicated to blues guitar, okay? We're gonna talk about a lot of topics, okay? So I'm gonna talk about techniques, I'm gonna talk about camping, soloing, harmony, theory, all the stuff that I think we need to play better this beautiful instrument, okay? So today we're gonna talk about blues fundamentals, okay? So which is to me one of the most underrated topic ever, okay? It's because we always try to focus ourselves in getting new stuff and getting new instruments, okay, to get a better sound. But the secret is that if we learn how to improve our sound, our touch, okay, so everything will sound better, okay? So, but obviously, if you have any questions, okay, so feel free to write in the chat, okay, and I'm open to respond to anybody at the end of the session. That is going to last more or less 30 minutes, okay? I can see somebody joining the live stream. Hi, Danny. Hi, Davide. How you guys doing? Okay, so for my Italian friends, I'm gonna be speaking on in English, okay, for this series, okay. But again, if you want to ask me anything, okay, so you can write a comment below, and I'll be happy to help, okay. So let's talk today about fundamentals, okay. And what I mean by that is the most important stuff to me that really matters to create a better sound, okay? So, and the first thing, number one, to me is how you hold the pick, right? And also how to hit the strings, okay? Because that is the starting point if you think about it, okay? So without that, without a good touch on the guitar, we can't even have a sound, right? So that's the most important thing to me. So let's start from there, okay? So I'm gonna give you guys another closer shot, okay? So the first thing that I like you to do is to practice on different kind of picks, of course. I have all of different materials, and the shape I always try to stick with the same shape, but I really like this, which is the Dario brand, okay? So really cool touch and feeling, okay. But also I have thicker ones like Dunlop, okay, so or this Pro Black, which I really like, okay. I don't, it's a little out of focus here, but it's really interesting. But to start, if you don't have if you think you don't have a good sound, I would suggest to not go over 1 millimeter, okay, and try to experiment with the touch first, okay. So don't go up to like 1.5 or 2 millimeters, which would be very hard to manage, okay. So start with a 1 millimeter 0.8 or something like that, okay. So that's my first advice, okay. So first of all, you want to hold the pick like this, okay. So you should be able to keep it, okay. It won't fall, okay. I don't have magic for this, but usually it doesn't fall, okay. So, and then you close it, okay, and you have like this, okay. You hold it like this. So this is the first thing, guys, because most of the time people hold the pick like this, okay. So without using the whole hand, right? So my first piece of advice is this, okay. So you hold the pick and then you close it, you close your hand around it, okay. So that's the first thing, because in that way you have a better touch, okay, and you can really feel the contact on the strings on your guitar, okay. So that's the very first lesson that I would like you to try. Okay, so just try like this. Okay, so you push a little bit the string, and then you go outside. Okay, and then the same thing. Okay, so down and up. It's basically the same kind of movement. Okay, and then you can do this on every strings. Okay. And you can actually feel the difference, okay? Because when you open your hand, it's a much lighter sound, as you can see, you can feel it, you can hear it. Okay, you can definitely feel it when you play it. It's much lighter than this. Okay, but also try to experiment on the position over the pickups. Okay, so usually what I suggest is to play on the second pickup if you are on a Strat, but if you are on a Tele or a Les Paul, same kind of concept. Okay, so if you play here, your sound will sound more natural. Okay, so try to do this. Okay, so the sound needs to be even. Okay, so 4 notes totally on the same dynamic. Okay, so that's the very first thing that I usually teach. Okay, and it's really important. Number one underrated topic. Okay, because we always start with a thicker pick. Okay, we want more overdrives and we want more amplifier, more guitars, but the sound actually starts from here. Okay, so once you master this, okay, so you wanted to always think about techniques, okay, that allow you to actually create music, okay, beyond the scales. Okay, so the second topic that I would like you to show you guys is the Hammer-on and pull-offs technique, okay, which is super important. Okay, so the Hammer-on, as the word says, basically it's like this. You have to hammer the strings. Okay, so it's like this. So you pick the first and then you hammer the second, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is very important. So the secret to be able to play this technique properly is the thumb, actually. Okay, so you need to place, let me show you this on the camera. Okay, so you have to keep the thumb, okay, more or less in the middle of your fretboard. Okay, so it's like this. You don't have to move your thumb as you move forward all over the fretboard. Okay, so you always have to hold it like this, and then you move your fingers. Okay, so you don't have to, like this, move it all the way around it, but it's more important, it's really important to keep it like this, and then you have a lot of more stability on your hand. Okay, so that's the first thing that you want to learn when it comes stability, and also relax, and also dynamics. Because when you play, when you are stressed, when you are strength on your fingers, on your hands, on your arms, also your sound will sound like that. Okay, so you don't want to sound like you want to sound relaxed. Okay, and the first thing is to use this little guy properly. Okay, because if you move it around the fretboard like this, you're not gonna be relaxed 100% assured. Okay, so it's not like this. You put it on the fretboard, on the neck, and then you move your fingers around it. Okay, which is very important. Okay, so once you did that, okay, try to use this technique and use it properly. Okay, Okay, so once you hear, move everything, the thumb remains there, and then you do the pull off thing, which is one of the most, the hardest, I would say, movement on the guitar. Okay, because you literally have to pull off the string. Okay, so you don't have to do an hammer off. Okay, that would be like this. No, this is not correct. You have to actually pull the string off. Okay, so like this. Okay, so as you can see, I'm keeping the thumb. Okay, I'm holding it. It doesn't move. The only thing that moves is the string, the finger. Okay. Okay, and you can do this all over the fretboard, okay? And obviously, guys, if you want to get, you know, a better sound, a better relax, and all those stuff, use the metronome, always. I always practice with metronome, okay? So, for instance, we're gonna talk about scales later, okay? So in the next lessons, but I always do this when I practice myself, okay? So I will put like a metronome at 80 or 90, okay? And I'll try, hope you can hear it, okay? And I try to be on that, okay? So I'm trying to push myself using more hammer-on and pull-offs. So like this, right? Okay, so I'm using just the pentatonic scale. We're gonna talk about that later, but the concept, if you are more advanced than the first thing that I'm showing you today, you can move forward and play around your favorite scale using this kind of techniques, okay? But with the metronome, okay? Because the metronome is your best friend, as I always say, okay? Because it always tell you the truth, okay? If you're not doing this on the tempo, it's gonna be messy, okay? It's gonna be messy. So don't do that, okay? Use the metronome every time, okay? So otherwise you're not gonna have a good feedback, okay? So you think that maybe you're doing a hammer-on and pull-offs, but maybe you're not doing it right when it comes with doing it together with the tempo, on the tempo, okay? So which is very, very important, okay? So third thing that I want to show you guys is the slide, okay? So we don't always use slide when we play on the guitar, okay? Sometimes we use it, sometimes not. But as I always said, we have two techniques that are very similar, and they give us two different sounds, completely different sounds, okay? Which is slide and also bending, okay? So when you use slide like this, you can use it for different reason, okay? So you can use it as an embellishment, okay? So for instance, if I want to play this note, I can always start a half step down, okay? I can always do that. Okay, so the way to practice it is just you decide a note, okay, that could be this or that could be this, and then you go half step down and then you reach that note, okay, so like this, and then you mix it with hammer-on and pull-off, okay, as we can see, It's more musical than the simple that the scale, okay? So okay, but once again, the third part, the second technique, I would say, is the bending, okay, which is similar to the slide if you think about it, right? Because if you do like this or like this, you can always do it with the bending, right? Or right. So you can mix it up, and you can create different sound. To me, when you play slide, you always have a sort of more jazzy sound, right? If you play bendings, you're gonna have more a bluesy sound. Okay, so that's the reason why I'll always try to mix those up, okay? So it's not just one thing, okay? Because if you want to have a more mixed sound when you play, you always have to tap into different stuff, okay? So you don't want to force yourself using just one thing, okay? So that's the thing that you want to try, okay? And the last thing, but not least, is the vibrato, okay, which is basically the same thing of bending, okay? So the technique is basically the same, the movement is the same. So to bend properly, I forgot to say this, guys. So to bend properly, usually we do a half step, a whole step, or a whole and a half step. It really depends, okay? So if you want to do like a half step bending like this, the secret to have a good intonation is to use all the fingers, okay? So if you're bending with the third, okay, you always want to use the first, the second, and the third. So it's like this, right? It's not like this, because if I bend with just one with one finger, I don't have the good intonation. I don't have the right strength to bend the string, okay? But if I have an even strength on each finger, it's gonna be easier, right? So right now I'm bending with all three fingers. So I'm lift the string with all those three fingers. Okay, so I'm gonna have a much better intonation and all the stuff related to that, okay? Same thing with the pinky, okay? So many times you guys tell me that you know, you don't have strength on the pinky, but it's not true actually, because you don't have to use it alone. You always have to use all the fingers before the pinky, okay? So when I do a bend like this, which is a whole step bending, I'm not using just this, otherwise it's gonna be very, very hard to do it, right? So if you use the first, the second, and the third, and the fourth, you have a lot of strength, all the strength that you need to have a good intonation on the bending and also on the vibrato, okay? Because when it comes to the vibrato, it's basically the same kind of movement, okay? So you don't want to do like this. It doesn't have to be too fast, okay? It has to be wide enough to hear the pitch changing, like this, right? Right? And the same thing. So as you can see, I'm basically doing a bending. Right? that's it. All right, so basically we talked about the right touch that you have to learn to have a better sound. Okay, so and I once again I suggest to use a lighter pick. Okay, so don't go over 1 millimeter. Okay, so stay around 0.8, 0.9, 1 millimeter max. Okay, at first, then you're free to go everywhere. Okay, so you can always push yourself using a thicker pick. Okay, but at first stay below 1 millimeter. Okay, so that's my advice. And then we talked about how to use your thumb properly to have a good grip on the neck. Okay, and good relaxation and all those stuff. Okay, so and also we talked about how to use hammer-on and pull-offs. Okay, and then we talked about slide, bending, vibrato, and all those kind of stuff are basically the fundamentals. Okay, for every genre actually. Okay, so I call the class blues guitar fundamentals, but I assure you guys you can use all those stuff, okay, on every songs, on every genre that you would like to play. Okay, so this class is gonna be very useful if you take it and you study with any rush. Okay, don't rush any improvement. Okay, at first these movements seem to be simple, but they are not. Okay, if you're doing properly, they are not. Okay, so try to work on this. Okay guys, so I'm gonna play something for you, right? Once again, if you haven't done it already, please check my academy down below in the description. Okay, so you can check the link in English and also Italian. Okay, but basically GUITARlab.academy. Okay, and then you go up on the right screen and you can check the Italian flag or the US flag. But if you have any questions, just write a comment. Okay, I can see a few friends, and I can see my friend Emilio at Corner Store. I'm not sure if you are here already. Okay, if you're here yet, but I saw your comment. All right, so waiting for your question if you have one. Okay, but in the meantime, I just I thought to play a little bit for you guys. Okay, and this is called Crosscazzo. Alrighty, that was crosscut soul. Okay, guys, so thank you for watching. Okay, so once again, this is going to be a free course open to everybody. Okay, I'll try to do this every day or every other day. I'm not sure yet how the schedule is going to be. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay, so you're gonna get update when I'm gonna be live. But once again, I'm gonna give you guys a lot of free stuff, and we're gonna talk about techniques, camping, soloing, whatever. Okay, but once again, if you have any question, just write a comment below, and if you want me to talk about any topics in particular, okay, so let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to help in the next classes. Okay, but once again, the next class probably is gonna be on Wednesday the 8th, probably 10:30 again. Okay, so not tomorrow because I have a concert here in New York City, but on Wednesday I'll try to keep it up and be here for you guys. Okay, but once again, if you have any questions, just hit me up. You can also shoot me an email at Davide at davidepannozzo.com. Let me see if I have if I have my email, so you can actually see it on the screen. Okay, here it is. Okay, you can write me here. Okay, info at davidepannozzo.com. Okay, and you can follow me on Instagram too, so you can shoot me a message over there too. But and this is going to be our academy. Okay, GUITARlab Modern Blues Guitar Academy online. Okay, so thank you guys, thank you for watching this, and I hope to see you soon. Okay, Wednesday probably is gonna be the next class. Okay, see you guys soon. Okay, have a great weekend, have a great day, and I hope to see you guys soon.